Hey, it's me, Raika. Today we're going to have a look at Rimuru, Demon Lord from the Dimensional faction. Now, this hero wears cloth-based gear, is part of the Mage class, and his primary role is to provide a significant amount of various buffs for your allied heroes. Now, this hero is very special as he uses a combination of both energy and magic elements when he's using his skills. This allows him to augment various abilities, empowering them and making them stronger as he goes into battle. So let's have a look at his abilities. His ultimate skill, Divine Fury. Rimuru possesses magic elements. So this is his energy. Every 1 point of magic element reduces the energy required by him to use his ultimate skill by 1 point. Rimuru can earn up to 450 magic element points. Magic elements are not affected by energy or health recovery rates. At the start of battle, Rimuru possesses 500 points of magic element points. His normal attacks inflict a black flame, so this is a little damage over time or dot based ability on the enemy heroes for targets for 6 seconds. An enemy inflicted by Black Flame receives 65% more damage from Rimuru's allies who have received a name. So a name is a little icon or buff that will appear on your allied heroes. And when the enemy dies, Rimuru recovers an additional 100 magic element points from them. When it is activated, Rimuru wields his magic to create numerous water droplets above the battlefield, then raises his arm high and swipes it downward, transforming the droplets into cinder pillars and penetrating the battlefield, dealing damage equal to 540% of his attack range to all enemies. This skill has a chance to crit, and the crit chance is increased by 10% for every 100 magic element points Rimuru has. So as we can see, he can possess a total or maximum of 500 points. So that is an extra 50% of crit rating that he can have on his base kit. The level 2, the damage is increased from 540 all the way to 960 points. The level 3, Rimuru's max limit for magic elements is increased from 500 all the way to 600 points. So this is 600 or 60% increase on his crit rating buff that he can have for his abilities. His next ability over here, Black Flame. Rimuru casts his magic, summoning blazing thunder in the densest area of enemies and dealing damage to enemies within range for 190% of his attack rating. For every enemy slain, Rimuru recovers 100 magic element points. Level 2, damage is increased from 190 to 350%. The level 3, for every enemy slain, Rimuru recovers 200 magic element points from 100 to 200. And the level 4, he will inflict Black Flame on enemies hit lasting for 6 seconds. His next ability, Equal Naming. So this is that extra buff that he will apply on your allied heroes. Rimuru bestows names upon all allied heroes and summoned entities. So this is any copies or mirror images that the allies may have on the battlefield that have not received names. For each hero or summoned entity named, 150 magic element points are spent respectively. Named allies have their multiple attributes boosted by 45%. So these multiple attributes include health, defense, and attack rating, with these effects lasting the entire duration of battle. Each time Rimuru and his named allies cast an active skill, he absorbs 20 magic element points. When a named unit dies, he absorbs 100 magic element points. Level 2. The amount of magic element required to name a hero and summoned entity are reduced to 75 and 35 points respectively. The level 3. Each time Rimuru and his named allies cast an active skill, he absorbs 35 points. So this is increased from 20 all the way to 35. And level 4 or 30 engravings, the named allies receive an additional 30 physical pierce and 30 magical pierce points for the entire duration of battle. So let's look at his next ability, Great Sage. At the start of battle, Rimuru probes the stats of all enemies and strengthens himself according to their characteristics. For every strength-based enemy hero, he gains 50 points of tenacity. For intelligence, he gains 50 magical suppression points. And for agility, he will gain 15 dodge points for every enemy of that particular hero that is wearing that item of gear. Now, the level 2 and 3 increase the stats that he will gain depending on the enemy hero from 15 all the way to 50 respective points for each hero of that particular item wearing class. Now, the 60 engravings. Named allies will also receive an enhancement effect equivalent to 40% of this buff over here. So that means each ally will get 20 points of either tenacity, magic suppression, or dodge, depending on the enemy hero. So let's have a look at his signature item. Now, when you unlock the Reborn, each time Rimuru absorbs 60 magic element points, he recovers 10% of his own health. The level 10, an enemy inflicted by Black Flame loses 50 energy points. Level 20, this is increased from 50 to 100 points. The level 30, received healing of an enemy inflicted by a Black Flame is reduced by 30 points. So that is 30% healing reduction. And the 40, signature item unlock. When an enemy dies, he absorbs their magic element points, enhancing the various effects of the skill Great Sage by 65% for 5 seconds. So let's have a look at his furniture over here. When you unlock the Monarch of Tempest, the 3 out of 3, magic elements absorbed and recovered by Rimuru through various means are buffed by his energy recovery rate. The 9 out of 9. Each time an ally is named, Rimuru permanently gains 12 energy recovery rate. This effect can be stacked 5 times. So if there are a couple of summons or extra allies, this will be extremely beneficial for Rimuru over here. So let's have a look at how he does in battle. Now, Rimuru is not a damage dealer or a healer. His primary role is to provide various buffs for your allied heroes. This is that increase to multiple attributes, provide that increase to tenacity, magical suppression, and dodge based on which item of gear the enemy heroes are wearing. And as we can see, he has this energy bar over here, magical elements and energy. Now, this will go back and forth depending on what his allies are doing. So if the allies are using the ultimate, they'll slowly drain a bit of his energy. And if the enemy dies, he'll gain a bit of this energy. So let's have a look at his ultimate. They are the water droplets, and they will strike multiple enemies on the battlefield. So as we can see, he casts multiple of these droplets. And the more magical elements he has, this will further enhance his crit rating, allowing it to hit harder and deal more damage to the enemy target. Now, this hero does not deal a large amount of damage. His primary use is the buffs that he provides for his allies. Now, he'll be mainly used in stall-based teams or allies that need a lot of buffs at the beginning of the battle so they can one-shot the enemies as quickly as possible, as this will provide a tremendous amount of effectiveness for your allies. Now, he is a bit squishy as he does not have a lot of damage reduction on himself, and he likes to run to the front lines in order to hit the enemy heroes. So I would highly recommend putting him in the back line, so give him a bit of delay, allowing him to buff your allies and provide the necessary buffs so your allies can take charge of the battle and claim victory for your team. Now, what is the minimum investment that I would recommend for this allied hero? Now, I would highly recommend getting him to 30 SI, as this provides a lot of utility, removing the enemy's energy and reducing the amount of healing the enemy does. For his furniture, I recommend getting him all the way to 9 out of 9, as this allows him to recover his magical elements faster, allowing him to empower his abilities using his magical elements energy, and also this gives him additional survivability. Now, I would also recommend getting his 30 engravings, as this provides additional buffs to your allies, such as 30 physical pierce and 30 magical pierce, as this allows you to shred the enemy's magic and physical resist respectively, on top of the extra buffs that he provides from his 45% increase to their attributes. Now, I do not recommend going for his 60 engravings, as the extra buffs to their dodge, magical suppression, and tenacity does not provide a significant amount of buffs. However, it does provide him a bit of extra survivability, so that he can survive long enough in order to cast his abilities and buff your allied heroes.